It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time to talk TV right here on Nerd Niches. Welcome to TV Talk. My name's Off the Cuff Tom. We're talking about Agatha. Somebody play the intro.
I heard you on the wireless back in 52. Lying awake, intent and tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine and new technology. And now I understand the problems you can see. I met your children. What did you tell them?
How appropriate tonight we start with Video Killed the Radio Star because, oh my God, let's have a slumber party in the 80s. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You are back here on Nerd Niches TV Talk. We're talking about Agatha All Along, episode 5. And as if it was some type of witchcraft, yours truly was able to summon someone here this evening. So, let me bring him on in, straight from the Vigilante Vibes podcast, the one, the only, Miss Megan. Meg, thank
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I cannot hear you. Shoot. 1 second.
I don't know. Can the internet hear me or not? Can Blake's in the chat? Blake, can you hear me, Blake? I've got everything packed up for New York, so if I got to go grab my mics, I got to go get them now.
It should have worked.
Yay, internet.
There it is. Woo. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Look at you with this nice golden hue you got going on. It's a very dichotic thing, which is something that happens in the episode, believe it or not.
I'm trying to figure that out right now. I don't know what's going on with any of my stuff today.
Oh, do we ever know what's going on with any of our stuff any day?
Never.
Well, Meg, thank you so much for being back. Let everybody know who you are, where you're from.
I am Megan Nicole from the Vigilante Vibes, where we toxicity. I am also the group owner of the Nerd Haven on Facebook, where we are completely non-toxic and completely inclusive. And I'm from Nerd Initiative with Tom, where we review comics, TV shows, and movies.
That we do. And of course, don't forget, here at Nerd Initiative, we love our QR codes, so we're going to be throwing them up every so often during the thing. So we are talking about episode 5 of Agatha All Along. Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power. How on the nose was that? I mean,
yeah.
Just look at this. You're awaking all the powers with all your filters or whatever the heck's going on down there. You just do you. Don't think about it. Go with the flow.
Oh, I can't not do that. That's not me. But I think I'm good now.
You're wonderful. So like I said, it's called Let's Have a Slumber Party. I honest to goodness was debating on doing this whole episode in a pair of PJs. And then I realized I sleep naked. So standards and stuff. I know it'd get thrown off Twitch at least. On Twitter, but who knows? And it might be a little bit different for my audio. Like I said, I've got a lot of stuff packed up because I'm going to New York Comic Con later this week. So bear with me because I know someone usually pops in the chat if my audio is bad. Thanks, Ken. But right now, I think we're pretty good about it. So, Nerd Initiative TV Talk, episode number 5. Darkest Hour, Wake Thy Power. I think that name for the episode was pretty much on the nose. We have already had, there's been a lot of other great shows and YouTubers and everybody that's already talked about this. So I think at this point, we're kind of in the spoiler free section. So tough. You're getting spoilers.
I mean, it's been 5 days. If the internet hasn't spoiled it for you, then you have some kind of superpower that we can't penetrate.
Oh my God. And did Marvel spoil it today too for those who haven't caught up on the show yet? Have you seen what they did on Marvel?
Yes, the poster even name dropped him, which I did not expect.
I didn't expect that, and believe it or not, I do have that image lined up later. I gotta get my camera thing, my camera thumbs backwards. I will have that later, all the way down at the end here. Um, but yeah, just looking around here. Well, let's get in. Let's get into it. All right. So we are starting out post after Teen had gotten all jacked up during the last trial where he had that big huge shard in his glass, and thank God Jen used a little bit of moonlight and some water to revive him. So it was nice. We saw that there was a bit of power. And now I have a very big theory about Jen. I don't think that Jen is bound.
Hmm.
I think she has a major case of the yips.
Oh, I like that.
Think
Yeah.
about it. She was able to still make the potion. She was able to still, and yes, as much as the kid said it's practical magic, you still need to have some sort of, in my opinion, connection to that to be able to do it. And then same deal here, water, moonlight. Oh, look, Indiana Jones baking soda trick, because that's exactly what they did in Last Crusade. It was baking soda and vinegar. That's all it was.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see her just not having her mojo with her, but I don't know. I feel like there's just something about her because we're all on this Mephisto train, but what if it's not Mephisto? What if it's Hellfire, who is a demon from Marvel Comics, but his host was Jennifer's brother, Andy?
This is why we keep you around, because I don't know. I'm the connoisseur. I'm well versed. It's like going to the all you can eat buffet. I get this, that, and the other thing, but you just got the whole,
I have the potatoes there.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
wonderful potatoes at that. Loaded.
Thank you.
So as they keep going on, going off of what I've said before, the road has always adapted to the witch, and the big thing I picked up on episode 1 was the whole color thing. How blue went to Jen's, and then we did red went to our protection witch. Why is I always keep reading Alice. Now we're on 3. Now we're on purple. So this is Agatha's trial. I found a little concern having Agatha's trial right in the middle of everything. And I know some other folks, it's like, well, we got to do resolution. We need this, that, and the other thing. So I get it. Fine. But this is also the shortest episode of the whole season so far. So how anticlimactic? I mean, yes, climactic in spades, but anticlimactic in length of time. What do you think?
Usually the 5th episode has a lot going for it, but it is usually shorter and packs a punch. I mean, you have X-Men 97, whose episode 5 was Remember It, which
That's
was
right. His name is Remy Labo. You remember that name.
That was beautiful. But I think anything else would have been too much because of the reveal at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
But,
stopping in and saying, hey, I can agree with that. It's a mental thing and all the trauma. Yeah, so we all know that, Marvel loves dealing with trauma. Because if we don't have trauma, we don't have half of our comic book stories out there today.
True. And daddy issues.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, as they keep going down the road, it's purple, but there was a problem that happened with keeping a particular door open. So when they had summoned Rio to the group, by the way, love the outfit. Can't go. This is probably the first really good picture I've ever seen of her full outfit, because she's always like that is awesome. Very green witchy. But when they went to summon Rio, they kind of left the mystical veil, the door open, and the Salem 7 show up on the road. We got to see a bug, we got another wolf, and the owl. Have they gone through all of the familiar types?
No, I think we maybe got a quick look at most of them. Like there's a rabbit, snake, I think.
A raven.
Yeah. So we might have seen them all, but I think most of them weren't confirmed to be the Salem 7. Like, they were kind of just like when they're sitting in the food court and there was a rat. That was one of the Salem 7, but we were like, oh, it's just a rat.
Vizzo! So as they keep going down the road, the Salem 7 show up, and obviously it's a little oh shit moment.
Yeah.
We're not sugarcoating this. They like, ah! And the best part is that, well, how do we get out of here? The only way to go through is through. Or is it?
I mean, I guess they do the witchy thing, broomsticks and all.
That's right. Yeah. So luckily, being in that nice little, how practical this just happened to be because television. There's all these roots around, so they pull their roots. And what's great is everybody's like, "Oh yeah, this is cool, this is great." And Lily is like, "Nah, this is just the man trying to put us down. It's a commercial ploy." And you gotta love, for somebody who's been around as long as she still has that 1960s F the man. I'm just gonna go for it and down with the system.
And she always has a chip on her shoulder about it too. Like the stereotypes they have about witches, man, she has a lot to say on that. And I hope that comes into play later in the show because we still haven't seen her trial.
Which should be the next one based on colors. So if we're going by color theory. Plus, let's be honest, Patti LuPone in real life has a lot of opinions, and she ain't a great show either. So knowing that she was going to be on the show made it all the better.
Yeah.
What I really liked is when they did their, what do they call it, Hexenbrumen, or, whatever the traditional word is for it. It's Hexen something.
If anyone knows, please let us know in the comments because I don't know either.
Roots are the hardest thing to break because it's their strength, yet they broke them off like dead limbs. Well, again, Blake, I see what you're talking about, but again, the road works for the witches what they need at the time. So they needed to get their Farfignugens, and so they did. I'm going to use every single wrong German term right now until somebody puts it in the chat. And trust me, my German is extremely limited. But the one thing I really enjoyed about this is that, yes, they were in trouble, but they had to do a spell. And the fact that they had to cross the branches still showed the idea of woman empowerment and being part of a coven. And you've got my back and I've got your back. So that was a very subtle thing that I picked up on that, it meant a lot to me, especially like when Jeff's like, "Oh my God, this is so pretty." I was like, "Oh my God, seriously?"
And plus, that was a really good moment with Alice and Teen because it did show that she said, "You're part of us now. It doesn't matter. You're not a witch. You're one of us." And I thought that was really, really heartwarming.
Maybe because she just had, a little bit of weight lifted off her shoulders.
True. She has been a little loosey-goosey since then.
Yeah, a little brooding, dark, Batman. Oh wait, wrong franchise. So the team all starts flying. Team all start flying away, and we get to see the blood moon. The blood moon has a lot of connotation. Sailors, red moon and night, sailors, red moon and warning, sailors a warning. There's a whole bunch of things. Obviously, in witchcraft, it stands for a lot of things. For this show in particular, it means death.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So they start flying off after the moment. Right? And then they get to the house. Now, unfortunately, because I like to play safe and I always get all my pictures off the Disney media kits, I don't have a picture of the house. So if everybody can use your mind's eye, and we're going to travel down the Witch's Road and we're going to go back into the house. It was a tree house. It was atypical out of a very special episode that you would get in the 1980s, tree house. One thing that you got to take note of is the first two trials, on the door was, the symbol for the moon and everything. So you understood what part of the trial it was in. Keen-eye viewers will have to look up over Agatha's shoulder in this episode because you'll see that it's like almost stained glass up there to see the blood moon.
Mm-hmm.
So we get into the next room, into the next part, and we get in, to this whole big treehouse of terror. Shout out to The Simpsons. Maybe that's why Lisa's is in the end credits,
Yeah.
as much as some people don't like it.
It's
um,
just it's just so off-putting. Like you just don't see it happening. Then it happens, and you're like, oh, okay.
and it's hilarious to see like how nostalgic they went, not only just with the costuming and everything. I mean, they went hard on this. I mean, it's almost like a rejected Olivia Newton-John music video.
Yeah.
You
That-
know,
yeah.
you've
And
got
not
the shorts and the side pony.
and God bless them because every single one of those witches looks good every time. They eat every time. And it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's fantastic. And let's not also shout out to Patty LuPone because she got to be like the Kool-Aid mom.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put her all up in her PJs because God knows a woman at that age in the 80s is probably wearing some little nighty thing. And as much as she could pull it off, she didn't. So we went for the bobbish looking Karen haircut. I need to speak to your manager. And
Yeah.
everybody else was so relaxed. Show a little extra shoulder if you need to. That's
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they looked good. Even Teen, not sure when we start saying his name, but Teen, he looks adorable. I want to adopt him.
And how much foreshadowing is it that this outfit looks very much like his Halloween outfit he wore in WandaVision. So I think we can call that by now. We know who the kid's going to be, obviously at the end. But I'm not gonna. And I guess after I'm done this episode tonight, I will start calling him by his name because Marvel said so today, officially.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you've transitioned now. This is your name from now on.
I don't think that's his name. I know he's Billy, but I don't think he's Billy Maximoff. Because there's also Billy Maximoff and Billy Kaplan. So I think by the end of the next episode, he will be Billy Kaplan.
Well, and maybe he's a combination of both. God knows. We've seen in the MCU, particularly my favorite reference is Night Nurse in Daredevil, Luke Cage. They combine the two characters together. So
yeah. I think I think the same. It'll be something like
so,
that.
Very 80s thing, very satanic panic that was happening around that time. What? It's the truth. That was a movie. I was there.
I didn't know that was a movie.
Oh yeah. There was a whole movie that was anti Dungeons and Dragons, starring Tom Hanks. Like, you want to watch one of the worst, very special episodes, made for TV movie, whatever the heck it is. That's it for your Halloween enjoyment, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, well.
Oh, it's so bad. Like, it makes the old meme of magic missile, magic missile, magic missile with the kid, just holding the road flare look like Gandalf.
Oh God. maybe next Halloween I'll check it out.
Yeah,
maybe.
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, you can never go wrong with watching Freddy versus Jason or Jason X or anyhow. This coming from the guy who doesn't watch horror.
I don't watch horror either. Ever, never.
Like, this episode, I figured, because I always watch the episodes as soon as I get home that night from work or as soon as I possibly can to kind of try and screen it for my wife because my wife has been anti-horror since I've met her.
Yeah.
So any spoopies, I kind of give her the heads up. So when we watched it together, we watched it, while it's still a little bit of daylight out just so she could go.
I feel that.
Salem 7's coming out all looking like the Grudge in the ring. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't worry, folks. I do my own stunts.
It's true. I've seen him practice.
So they have to use the Ouija board of all things. Again, very 80s. I mean, Ouija board's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But there was something that they really came into prominence in the late 70s, early 80s. I know in the 60s it was kind of still like a fun, groovy thing when you're sitting down in your sunk-in discussion pit living room and, oh my God, get your fondue pot out and everything. Don't get any fondue on the board. But as they're trying to summon the spirits, I love the fact that the kid went through the instructions and might have twisted it just a little bit. No one talks over each other.
It's just he's such a stickler for the rules. Like, and I feel like that has to come into play at some point because he's the one that finds the instructions in every trial. He's the one that gets the trial started. And this time it was the same thing. He got it started. He read the instructions. He gave his own instructions. It just has to come out at some point.
And I never put two together that it is the kid that pushes the narrative, or at least the narrative of the trials. Is that stupid teen intuition? Is that oh, I'm gonna feel around until I find something, or is it just pure bad dumb luck?
Mm-hmm.
So they start using the Ouija board, and Agatha, boy, she gets into character just a little bit. I'm sorry. I love Catherine Hahn, but she can't do Katie Foreman to save her life.
I disagree with you completely.
Oh
At
no,
the
she looked like a female Jack Nicholson doing that. Hi.
Oh, I'm not
hi,
talking about how she looked. I'm talking about how she sounded because at the end of it, of her little fake spiel, I swore I heard Deborah Jo Rupp in there. And I was like, oh, shoot, it is Deborah in there? Then it was just her messing with us all.
Yep, because
Yeah.
it is Agatha All Along.
True.
So interestingly enough, one of the rules that's on there is don't take your hands off the planchette. The planchette being the weird Ouija looking mouse thing that you see the symbols right underneath.
Yeah.
Well, it finally happened under proper circumstances, and somebody was summoned, and that someone was implied to be that death was amongst them, of which Aubrey Plaza, best laugh so far in the whole series. I've never, for me, Aubrey Plaza has always been that, hi, how are you doing? I'm going to
Yeah.
take care of you now. Or, damn it, Scott, why would you do that? Seriously,
Yeah.
why would you break up with her? She's 16. She's not even old enough. What grade is she in high school? Everybody knows the movie I'm talking about. More power to you. Do you, Meg?
Oh,
Scott
nope.
Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's a good movie. But
Parks and I've always seen her as that very cold, demeanored, dry humor character. So
the
to see,
monotoned whole.
yes,
Yeah.
or no, yeah, I'll agree with the monotone. It's one, yeah, it is not one note, which would be the word monotone. I used to actually have a sight singing teacher in school who was monotone. He always spoke like this and everything that he always did.
Oh, I
But
couldn't.
then, but the class was sight singing.
Okay.
That's where you read the music and you learn how to sing just on first.
Yeah.
But you give him music. Good morning, class. How are you doing? Like he would put Ben Stiller to shame.
I just realized that Ben Stiller is pretty monotone himself, isn't he?
Wow, clear eyes.
Wow. This is a whole new world for me. Oh my gosh. I'm learning more and more.
Thank you. I don't know. Anyhow, so to see Aubrey Plaza really in this comedic role, or comedic is one way to put it, but I think manic
Yeah.
is a better way to put it. And also shout out to the makeup team because she has very big doughy eyes, and to make those very big doughy eyes into very sultry doughy eyes.
Yeah, she's always been beautiful, but
it's stunning. Don't get me wrong.
But she's always done such a good job at like dead eyeing anything that looks at her. Mm-hmm. So this unhinged Aubrey Plaza with these hot eyes, it's good Lord. I feel like this is just the role she was meant to play because she just does it so perfectly, every single aspect of it.
Yeah, those eyes, did they really talk? Are they like Nala eyes?
Oh my God, yes. That's what they are.
And you feel the murder? Love the night? Anyway, so she belts out, and then finally an actual spirit shows up. and takes over and completely just like takes over an exorcist style, takes over Agatha's body. And again, the makeup team is killing this.
Yeah.
Like, 19. When did that movie come out? Just so I can make sure we're in the right reference to the right decade. 2 seconds. The original Exorcist. Okay, so the original Exorcist came out still in 1973. But if you can't tell me that the makeup inspired this look,
Yeah. I haven't even seen The Exorcist, and I know like that's 100% inspired by it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I can't tell completely, and if it was, Catherine Hahn who did all this physicality, or if she did the body, the big, huge plaster of Paris, and there was somebody else that stepped in to do all, especially I mean, obviously she's not doing bending over backwards and doing all that stuff. But even this crawling and very physical. If it was her, cool. If it wasn't, still cheers to the makeup team. But there's all this paleness and the varicose veins and the choices of color that they were using on here. None of these pictures have been doctorally done. These are straight stills from Marvel. So it just shows the teamwork that you really get when you have a really good production company working on a show.
Yeah. And look at Joe Locke just giving the performance of a lifetime.
Look at those shorts.
God, he put so much into this.
And the fanny pack and
the socks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly, if my mom watched this episode, she's like, I had those. My mom would absolutely say that. There's a running gag in our family about socks at Christmas.
Oh
no, it's a good one. It's an absolute good one. But anyway, so Agatha's going around being all, very much like my ex-wife. And she was able to get dispelled out because, something happened. But just prior to that, Lilia turned the lights on. And obviously, because scary movie logic, you turn the lights back on, the ghost goes away. Again, very 80s, Freddy Krueger never existed when the lights were on.
True.
Pure, poor Johnny Depp. Lights are off.
Yeah, no, it still works though. That's why we watch scary things in the daytime. Mm-hmm. Obviously it works.
So the ghost is able to finally, what's the word I'm looking for? Appear. I know there's an actual term I'm looking for. It starts with an A. So anybody who's, well, look what we have here. Oh, look, it's my buddy's cell phone, wallet, keys. The Mr. Plastic Fantastic himself showing up over there from Play for Keeps. Hopefully you did check out his very special episode this past Friday, talking about everything we're doing at Comic-Con because
yeah, I highly recommend it. It makes me want to go buy so many toys and just to join in the fun. It's so great. He's awesome.
What feels even so bad is like I was in the description, but I had real life work and couldn't make it, so I was going to be on with him. But keep an eye out. We got all fantastic stuff coming on Play for Keeps, so trust me. Anyhow, so speaking of plastic, we're talking about the Ouija board. Very very cool, very groovy.
Yeah.
But the apparition, that's the word I was looking for.
There it is.
Appears. And who does it happen to be, Meg?
It happens to be her mother. So that's pretty awkward.
And I love the fact that as much as she's being like I should have killed you, I should have done this, I should have done that. Agatha on the flip side is like, Mom, you're embarrassing me in front of my friend. God, you're so boring.
Oh my God. That was I didn't expect it to be her, but we should have known. We should have known it was going to be her though.
No, not at all. I also believe in this episode, don't they also go into the fact that we find out who the Salem 7 are specifically?
Yeah, they changed it from the comics. It was in the comics, the Salem 7 was Nicholas Scratch's children, which would be Agatha's grandchildren. But in the show, they said that the Salem Seven were the children of Agatha's coven that she drained dry and killed them all. So I actually really liked that change. It makes sense, and it's not just an awkward throwaway.
I think it's also a good thing because we've already had generational trauma as a villain this past, decade with Encanto, so we don't want to, go through that again.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Evanora, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's some weird name. I just say Agatha's mom.
Agatha's mom takes over Agatha yet again.
Yeah.
Now, this time she's fully sprung into action. That's where we're at this picture here, where Teen is cowering. And again, cheers to Joe Locke because he is just like he's terrified.
Yeah.
And that could be another thing is maybe they kept the actress or kept them on offset till that scene just to scare the living, bejeebus out of them.
It's what they do in a lot of movies, like with children. They try to get that authentic reaction, or anyone really. Even in sad movies, they do it. So I think you're right. That had to be what they did.
And then Homegirl jumps right in, being the protection witch that she is, and starts blasting Agatha with her power. Now, Alice just comes in out of nowhere and just wham. And the fact that she did it, she even surprised herself.
Yeah.
So that means she's got her powers back. And I'm assuming that's just because the curse is broken and she just had the mental yips thinking she probably couldn't get to use it. So to see that was like, wow. Hey, look, it's that, crochet blanket that everybody had on their couches back in the 80s.
It's like in every show, like Roseanne, Family Matters. It's on
extremely. Just the 10 of Us, My Two Dads. I
mean,
what other stupid sitcoms can we name from back then? Family Ties, Growing Pains, Webster,
Urkel, Steve Urkel,
Mr. Belvedere,
Three's Company.
Yep.
Seinfeld, maybe?
No, that was 90s.
That's the later one.
I don't think that was 80s. I think that was 93.
Oh, yeah. I was just a child. I started getting to Seinfeld in 2000. It's all the 80s to me.
Yeah. 93, I was already a teenager.
Oh my God. I was born then.
Barely a teenager.
Oh gosh.
Hi. Trust me, I would use Just for Men. Wait, no. Since we're talking 80s, I'd be using DI7 from Ron Popeil and Ronco.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
Yes, I'm old.
Oh no. Maybe I'm just inexperienced in this. That's all.
Oh, it was hair.
You're experienced. Oh.
It was hair in a can. It literally is just spray paint that you would spray on your follicles, and anything that was like really light and clear, it would cover. Oh yeah, it's great. Like I had an old boss, like you knew what month it was solely based on how much he sprayed his head.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was great. All of his old heads would just make fun. It's like, oh, it's 8-ball day. He did his head today. Anyhow, Alice jumps in, wham, and we found, Agatha gave a spoiler away in episode 2 saying that her power, that Lilia can't affect her if she doesn't blast her, doesn't zap her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with Alice jumping in and zapping Agatha, Catherine Hahn did a really great job with her facial expressions, going through her emotions. At first, she was surprised that she got zapped. Secondly, she was like, oh no, I'm going to take your powers. Then all of a sudden that adrenaline rush, of pleasure comes over her and she starts absorbing the powers. I got to give her credit for this. I kind of wish she would have gone with one more. No, stop, don't. But that's just me.
It's interesting because right after this, not to jump ahead, but she says that she couldn't control it. And I know it's Agatha. We don't believe her, but like a small part of me is like, could she not control it? Like, why would she lie? What does
I
she have
think
to lose?
that's what she lost. It's not what she does she have to, it's what she lost.
She already lost everything. She's getting her
No,
powers back.
nope.
Because if her whole thing is you have to attack her to take your powers, wouldn't she tell the truth and make people mad at her so they attack her?
But at the same time, think about this. So the kid figures, okay, we got to do something. We still have to figure out who we summoned. And so he goes over to the Ouija board and he bangs out Nicholas Scratch, right?
Yeah.
Agatha's kid. Listening to the voice, though, Mommy, stop it, Mommy. My thing is, I don't think Agatha had these particular type powers until she made the deal with the Darkhold.
Yeah.
And that's why she didn't, and that's why she hurt every time this happens. Maybe she's hearing Nicholas in the background because she had to take Nicholas's powers, thus killing him, to get the Darkhold. So that's why she was so hesitant when this happened.
Perhaps.
So I honest to goodness think that this is, what was the trial? Make her feel pain, make her suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Having to deal with the idea that she's killed another witch is one thing. Two, that she's absorbed someone's power against their will, which I think is her big problem. Especially now that she's completely depowered from the Darkhold. I'm not saying that, when she was fighting Wanda and she was like OP there from the Darkhold, she wanted more power. She was craving more power. Now that she's powerless, realizing what it's going to do, again, giving her that semi-moral, oh no.
That's true. There's always that her personality could have really changed from the Darkhold.
Yep.
But I just don't think it's that simple. Another thing about this scene with Agatha's mom is Rio got very, very protective of Agatha. When it's like, you were just laughing it up with the Ouija board, but here you are yelling no at Agatha's mom and at the trial. So I think that was the first time we've seen her really concerned throughout the whole show.
Well, dude, you're talking about my girl. It doesn't matter. Seriously, that's exactly what it is. She was talking crap about a girl. You and I are both married. If your in-law happened to say some crap about you, heck, I went at my mom today alone for saying something. I was like, no.
I won't
And I said,
miss an opportunity to do that. But
take
yeah.
that back and clarify. And she's like, oh no, that's not what I meant. I was like, okay, I got you. I love you, Mom, but still, that's why we keep each other in check.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Rio's motivation was. Regardless of where they are in their relationship, whatever their status is, that genuine lust or love or connection that they have, love or hate or love to hate relationship,
Yeah.
it still was the motivation to tell her mom.
Well, I don't doubt that at all. But it's like Rio clearly plays a much bigger role than everyone realizes. And I'm not going to comment on that just in case the people haven't seen the leaks of who she is. Not going
Thanks,
to use
Funko.
that. Thanks a lot, Funko. That was a really weird choice you made. But it's like, if you're who we think you are, then you have much more pull here than a trial on the witch's road. So what are you so worried about? Was it purely emotion, or was there something that you were not able to control this time? Because I do think she's been pulling a lot of strings this entire time.
Do you think she's pulling strings based on the fact she knows what she's doing on the road and she's trying to manipulate it to I mean, I'll say she's manipulating it to her advantage, but is she also manipulating it to the Coven's advantage as well? Because there was only 2 that left before. Is she trying her best to try and get them through as well?
I think she's doing it for Agatha, and I think that's why she asked Agatha, "Why did you bring him here?" in the last episode, because she's like, "Should I be looking out for him too? Is he also here to help just Agatha or the Coven?" I don't think she gives a damn about the rest of that Coven. I mean, she came from Mrs. Hart's body, so I don't think she cares.
It's interesting.
It is.
So after the kid figures out and yells Nicholas Scratch, which completely breaks Agatha out of this trance that she's in, this power sucking trance, and leaves, why do I always keep forgetting her name? Alice on the floor, completely like vamped, sucked out, just
Yeah.
I mean, look like a raisin. Welcome back, Mr. Mobile Mike. Just yeah, there's nothing you can do, and that's another great thing about looking at Rio. She looks at the body and goes,
Yeah. I think that was the last time we saw Rio of this episode, wasn't it?
it was, and I
Yeah.
think that's going to come back to bite him in the broomstick. One interesting thing is I love a lot of people are bagging on Agatha about being the first one out of the trial. And I'm just going to say, I can't blame her based on, like I said, she's got all this emotional damage from, having to deal with the powers and accidentally, which I will still 83% stand behind that she accidentally killed Alice.
Yeah.
And if Nicholas was there, or if she had some sort of her own mental break or remembering, however Nicholas passed, I think that's why she was just running away from it. Yay, you brought a familiar.
I did. She was stuck behind my chair.
Oh, chunky butts.
Okay, get out of here.
Okay, back to Edie. All cats are always welcome. Please make sure that you tag us on all your social medias. Hashtag NITV Talk or hashtag Off the Cuff Tom. Make sure to show pictures of your familiars at home.
Yes, please. I love familiar pictures. Please do, because I really love them.
The internet was made for 2 things: complaining about our fandoms and cats.
At least the 2 things for us. I'm sure other people use it. Like, some people are little weirdos, but whatever.
Yeah, like sports ball.
Ew, what? What even? Go sports.
Swing the bat, get the field goal, whatever. I do know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, so I think Agatha was really just running away from the situation. I don't think she was taking advantage of the situation to just further herself down the road. I think she was taking herself out of the situation. Was it the smartest thing to do? Hell no. But was it what she had to mentally do to disconnect and to process what she's been through?
I think it was processing, because we see her messing with Alice's magic in her hand, and it looks like she's seeing how much she got from her. Like, how much more do I need to like be at my regular place? And running out because she's
I will
like,
happily disagree with you on that. I think she
go ahead.
she was looking at it going more like, oh crap, I did this again, and it fizzled out.
See, the biggest part of me wants her to stay just an evil villain. I don't want any sympathizing, emphasizing, any motherly instincts. I don't want it. I want her to be like, how many more do I need to take down? That's what I want.
And if we get to turn like that, I'm good with it. I'm perfectly fine wherever this story goes, Kat.
Yeah, you could just ignore it. It's a baby. There's a lot going on.
No worries. And again, we appreciate you taking time to come and chat. But I really do think that it is more. It was guilt that sent her out there. Um,
I don't think so.
and that's
I
okay.
don't.
That is why this is the place of popular
Or what if it
because
wasn't guilt? It was just confusion.
it
Like
could have been
she didn't
that too.
know she didn't know Alice had powers, and I mean, she just when she got attacked by Alice, she really did just immediately embrace it. So she could have done it without thinking at all. So she couldn't have probably didn't really control it. And how long has it been since she's taken someone's power?
Yeah, God only knows.
Yeah.
So they get out back onto the road, and it is now yellow. So going with my color theory, Lily is going to be next week. Um, and again, I think we've mentioned talked before that there might they could have moved things around, but who knows how they're going to do the last few episodes, which I'm perfectly fine with. I don't even think they've put out the names for the episodes, so we could kind of try and figure out what they may or may not do. Like this name of this episode was perfect. It was on
Yeah.
point. Out of everyone so far, it was this one that had the greatest, context in the name. So they're on the yellow road, the yellow the yellow leaf road, and the kid comes out and is just like, "How could you do this? What did you do? Blah 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 blah." And Agatha is still dealing with her confusion, her grief, or whatever. And I kind of had a little concern about this. I was a little off put because you could see in her face that she did not appreciate being scolded.
Yeah.
She was on the defense, and then all of a sudden, in a tick, she goes on the offense and comes to a realization. Um, I wasn't a fan of it. I really think that something, I don't know if they cut a scene out. Like, I think that it was, and it could be this, the teen's self righteous indignation was a big hint to Agatha, but I would have liked to seen something maybe from a different camera angle or some sort of presence or aura, which we did eventually get because the kid did activate his powers and throw Agatha off the road and throw the other witches off the road. Um, but I don't know. I think that there's just one little extra thing that they could have done, taken 3 seconds to do, because God knows they had time in this episode. So people could see it from that angle instead of just seeing her go from.
Yeah. I do think there's something there that I just now thought of it. What if when she got Alice's powers, she did get the abilities back that she could sense magic too, because she didn't sense that Alice had powers.
Oh
So,
no, yeah,
yeah.
that's a
So
good
what
one.
if in that moment she sensed his power? She would know that where that power came from. She'd know it's Wanda's. And
Yep.
she had her child at some point. So if he had powers, she would know what those felt like. Huh. Okay.
This is why we chat. This is why we
Mm,
talk. We pick up. We roll with things on that.
correct.
So again, in the kid's self right, I'm going to go with the kid's self righteous indignation, just because one, I want to say it, and two, it's a good word.
It is.
Um, as he's going off, it's the same idea of how Wanda was. That how dare you? You do this. You did this to the town. You did this to Westview. Just because. Well, I wanna, and I can't deal with my trauma bonding. So I'm just gonna do this. And it's, well, how dare you? Agatha has an epiphany. She
Mhm.
realizes who the kid is and says, "You're just like your mom." The kid finally uses his powers, tosses everybody off the road, and we get this. Ta-da!
Woof.
Ooh, ooh, indeed, ooh, indeed.
It is so
Uh,
crazy that Marvel name dropped him.
I
I
can't
didn't
believe
think
it.
they'd reveal it, but I'd also thought they wouldn't say his name. Like, they didn't
Yeah.
say it in the show. So,
Um,
wild.
and we still got other episodes, and we've
Yeah.
got to deal with the whole Billy Kaplan thing and all that stuff. Um, I wanted to make sure that to have another picture on here as far as show on here. I got like my backwards camera fingers, always backwards. That when Marvel did the picture today, they had this great blue aura looking stuff, very much like Wanda's would be.
Yeah.
Hers was more linear, like her magic had thinner lines, like she was pulling the strings of the universe. His is very ethereal, lightning like. So that's why I wanted to pull this picture here from Marvel. This is the main 616 continuity of Wiccan. And you can see that they really tried to do their best to make a live adaptation of what his abilities could look like. And we've got a crown or a headpiece, the same colors. I think that they did such a great job with Joe Locke on this. Kudos to them.
And it's actually it's a real crown. It's not even a CGI crown. The designer posted about it over the weekend. That's
It's
real.
practical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
And we're both stopping for each other.
I know. I knew it was going to happen.
The fact that they, instead of doing like they did in the comic books, they decided to use his mom's style crown, I think is a really good tie-in. I also think it's smart marketing because, say, if somebody hasn't watched Marvel in a while and they go, "Oh, that little boy looks like he might be the Scarlet Witch or the Blue Boy Witch," so it's a nice through line.
It is. I really like that they did that. I'm curious if they keep it like that because it was supposed to look like it was made out of magic, just like Wanda's was in WandaVision. Hers was created out of magic. So I am curious if they keep that because I'm just not a fan of the comic accurate metal headpiece. It's not cute. We can all agree to
It's
that.
not. It's Naruto.
Well,
Well,
then we just can't have that. I do like how the parallels between him and Wanda's magic, like you said, hers is a lot more linear. His is a lot more smoky around it. So,
yeah.
but Wanda's is chaos magic. So
Well,
then,
Wanda's is chaos magic, but if you think about it, Wanda's spells, and this is the way I've always looked at it, there's always been a core to them, and that's that
mhm,
linear, and you saw the waves and all the wafting coming off of it. His has the waves and wafting, but the core you can still see. I wish I could just point on my screen or use a little mouse and show everybody what I'm pointing at right now because I'm totally waving my mouse around like it's right there. But look off of his cheek and you see how like in the middle of it you can see it's more powerful and it dissipates.
yeah,
It's I think they tried to emanate something like that as well. Like look at Doctor Strange's magic. It is rife with just pattern and lines and you see
mhm,
the abilities and you see it, but it's concise. It's
yeah.
under control. So having it like this, especially with the kid not understanding his powers, and if it could be a form of chaos magic, this might be his particular form of I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I think he does understand his magic, honestly, because it he was able to control 2 witches who were hundreds of years older than him, and he knew immediately not to attack Agatha, but to use them instead, and he killed them all off. That takes control. I
Nope.
think he knows. I think the sigil was broken, and he
I don't
knew.
think the sigil was broken. It might have been. We don't know. But I think that this was again that it's the Power Ranger effect. Okay.
I should have
The
known.
first Oh no, think about it. The first time you morph, right? Honest to God, this is the Power Ranger effect, and it's only because I'm looking at my figures. But they said in the first episode, the first time you morph, everything is downloaded into your head that you know exactly what you're doing. So the kid finally unlocked his power, and it's just an instinctual go for it. And who knows? He might not even know that he did what he did. It just was instinct to protect himself.
I don't know, cause like Hogwarts effect, when they get their powers, they don't know what they're doing, and those are witches and wizards.
But they aren't emotionally charged, as emotionally charged as he
They're
was.
teenagers, they're everything charged, first of all. Nasty little things. But
We
I
love
do
all of our teenage followers and subscribers, please and thank
y'all
you.
y'all can admit you're nasty too. We were all teenagers. It's okay, guys. You're
I
still
was
really
one.
cute. But like with Wanda, when she became in the know about her magic, when the crown worked out, when the crown showed out, chaos magic, red everywhere, Agatha terrified, she knew what was going on. She was aware. She didn't understand it, but she did know how to work her magic immediately.
She had
He
already been
did.
using magic.
Huh?
She had already been using
She
magic.
had been, but she unlocked the Scarlet Witch. She was Wanda Maximoff. She unlocked something greater. He was teen. He was teen. And now he's Billy. The Billy. He's a kind of a big deal. But
Okay.
I think the sigil was broken when she brought up his mom. I think that
Maybe,
broke it. So say Wanda put the sigil on him
which
when
that's my
she
theory.
when she destroyed Westview, Wanda did. She's like, the only person that would want to talk about me is someone that knows me or knows who he is. So I would have it break the sigil when I'm brought up. I think that makes sense. And I hope that's what it is because I don't like the theory that he put it on himself. I don't like that. I don't think it makes sense.
No. No, I don't think he knew what he. I think it was an auto reflex. Like we don't think about our lungs breathing or our heart going, and I don't think he was thinking about what was going on. I think instinct took over and did his thing. Does he have control? Absolutely not.
Hmm. I don't know. I don't think there's also he could have control over his powers, but not of the situation or the emotions. Like you said, it's an instinct. He could easily just instinctually know what to do, fight or flight. But in that situation, I mean, he like killed him off pretty easily, but they're coming back. But
Mm-hmm.
that also leads me to believe the trial wasn't over. Like you just went and killed them off. Alice is dead. All of them are gone. It's just you. Rio's gone somewhere. I don't think the trial was over.
I think it is. But again, going back to Lilia and how her powers is as she's seen more through time, who knows? Maybe they are going to relive this and it's going to, do that cosmic reset and we're going to get a second chance at all these. It's a really where they're at and where they're going. I have no idea. Like, most TV tropes. We know most things in comic books and comic book TV, but for it to get to the point where I think the general public and those of us, who do this for fun and can have, hour or 51 minute conversation so far about a 28-minute episode of Marvel. I don't know where they're going.
Nope. And I did not think they were going to reveal him halfway through the show. I thought it was going to be at the end and we were going to get like a silhouette look at him. And that's it. Now I don't know what to do because I live for spoilers. I love them. I actively seek them out. And there is none right now. And I'm not well. And I
There's
don't know what to
nothing.
do.
She's whelmed, folks. She's whelmed.
I'm whelmed. Yes.
But speaking of being whelmed, there is so much other great stuff coming down. We've got what, 3 or 4 more episodes left?
4, I think.
Four more episodes.
Yeah.
Right. 6, 7. Is it 9 episode run or 10? Either way, we got a few more episodes left, and we've got a lot of stuff to deal with. Do you think at this point anybody else from the Coven's going to die?
Well, I think they're all going to come back, and I think they're all going to make it to the end. I mean, besides, Mrs. Hart, because Rio's not dying. Agatha, I hope Agatha doesn't die. Oh my God, I hope that doesn't happen. But though I'd say the biggest contender would be Agatha, but I don't see her dying.
Okay. I
What
don't
about
think
you?
I don't think anybody else is going to die. I honest to God think that as much as they did with Alice, as such as a B character, and then they just like lifted her up for the one episode and pulled the rug out right from underneath her.
Yeah.
Like they just like, oh, here you have powers. Whoosh. Literally, you burned up. I don't think. I think she's going to be the only one. I think Jen could survive it. I think Lilia has been around the block a few times. Obviously, know with the spoilers about Rio's character. Thanks, Funko. And Agatha, maybe she'll have an out of body experience. Maybe she'll see the light and go back. But it's all speculation, folks, and that's what we're here to talk about. So
It's true. Plus, we still have whatever angle they're using Nicholas Scratch with, and who tipped teen Billy off on Agatha, because if he's under sigil, how would he even know about Agatha?
well,
And then you have whoever Rio might be working with.
Yep. I still think that, going back to my original theory that I've said, that Teen is a living embodiment of the Darkhold. I think that his spell book was a part of the Darkhold that didn't get busted on Winterguard.
See, I think he's going to make his own Darkhold with his spell book.
Ooh.
He's going to make a new one.
That's an interesting idea, too. So having that said, you're going to have to tune in next Monday when we talk about this again. But more than likely, you'll already probably have an episode dropped about it, right?
No, ours usually comes out on Monday. So Monday's a big day for all. We don't have an episode this week because Hurricane Milton. So what can you do?
Gotcha. But in the meantime, speaking of the rest of the week, we have so much stuff going on. Now, tomorrow night on Turn a Page is going to be our New York Comic Con special. Ken, Rich, Matt, I don't know who's going to be there. I can't do it tomorrow night because I'm going to be on a very special assignment. But Turn a Page, they are going to talk all about the comics and the creators and everything that you need to know before you get to New York Comic Con later this week. Big surprise, we haven't talked about it yet, but this coming Wednesday is going to be a very special episode. Not only are we going to do our 30-plus comic book reviews that are coming out this week on Nerd Initiative like we always do, but yours truly is going to have a very special episode live from Hoboken of Nerd Initiative TV Talk. I'm going to be talking about all the TVs and movies. It's going to be your New York Comic Con on-screen prep, I guess you could call it. So make sure that you tune in 8 o'clock. We're going to be doing the thing. Hopefully, I can get a really nice background shot of New York City. If I will take care of you, ladies and gentlemen. When this Thursday, there's not going to be. I don't believe there's going to be Wrestling Night Live. If they do, I don't know how we're doing it on our schedule because it is the first day of New York Comic Con. So I can't guarantee nothing right there. Because the cons are coming up, make sure you got to do what you got to do. Wear your nerd on your sleeve. We're going to be rocking the Nerd Initiative swag. So make sure if you see some of us, hit us up. We might have stickers. We might have lanyards. We might just have stuff. And if I don't have stuff, I'll give you a high five.
And they always have hugs. So there you go.
Con crud.
You got to do what you got to do, Tom. Come on now.
I know. But again, Wednesday, all the comic book reviews. We got 4 really big ones coming up at the beginning. You can check us out on the Twitters of what the first 4 are going to be, and then you got to figure out the rest. And then Wednesday night, very special episode. Again, because it's 80s kids, that's why I keep saying it, on a very special episode of Silver Spoons. It was funny. I was just watching a whole thing on the top 10 best very special episodes of the 80s.
Oh, so you're in theme tonight.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there, so it's okay.
Wasn't a sparkle in my parents' eyes.
That's right. In the meantime, we also got to do the homework. Make sure, as always, that you, as the bosses like us to do, make sure you hit that subscribe, ding that thing, hit the bell for notifications, and tap that thumbs up to let the bosses know that we're doing a good job. Megan, I can't thank you so very much for honestly taking the time to come and chat with me tonight. It's always a pleasure talking with you. It's always a pleasure riffing and going back and forth with you.
Always a pleasure, and I will probably be back because this was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, and remind everybody where we can find you.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Vigilante Vibes Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Megan the Gangsta. And you can find me on Facebook in the Facebook group, The Nerd Haven, if you want a non-toxic nerd culture experience.
And really, honestly, Nerd Haven is a fantastic place to hang out. It is a really, really great community that you have cultivated. And I cannot speak so highly of it. Like, I wish I was more active on socials. just to dip in there and go, hi everybody. But it really is a great place that you guys have done, and I just want to
thank you so much. It's very, very, very proud of it. Love all the people in there.
And yeah, it really is. So on that note, folks, my name is Off the Cuff Time. It was a pleasure having you here this evening. I hope to see you back here next week, of course. More importantly, I want to see you out there at New York Comic Con. Having that said, always be excellent to each other. See you next one.